live. Hi guys. I'm just gonna get started because I always like to film my info videos on live because then I don't have to save the video. It makes it much easier. But I'm teaching a new class, so I want to talk all about it, and I'm really excited. So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna save this video because I know people like hop in and out of lives, and I personally always like wait till the video is saved till I watch it because sometimes I just like to be alone when I watch and take information in. So I feel people feel that. But the class that I'm going to be teaching is going to be live, so you better get excited and get started and get used to it. So I'm Grace. I think you know that because you're on my page. But I'm a psychic medium, and I'm going to be launching a new class. This class is called Akashic Deep Dive. Today is January 29th. So this is going to be like our pre-sale. Class is officially going to launch in like a week-ish on January 8th. So tonight, this video, I'm going to talk to you about the class. I'm going to talk to you about why I'm doing this class, a little bit of information, and then, the pre-sale is open. So if anything entices you in this video and you want to learn more, just send me a DM. And on Thursday, February 8th, all the stuff will be on my website, so you can officially sign up. But for people who are excited ahead of time, and I know I've been talking about wanting to do this class for like literally 4 years, so some people might be excited already because I am, and it's finally time to launch this class. So what are we doing? What is this class all about? And we'll get into all the information. So you're welcome to hang out, watch this video. Again, I will be saving it, so you can watch it at your own pace, your own time. It will be on my page. I'm excited. Also, we never came back and finished the Arrive series. I had one more meditation I was going to do for you guys, and then it never happened. So here we are live again. Sometimes you don't always show up for your promises, so that is something that I'm continuing to work on healing. And doing this class is something that I promised myself that I was going to do this year because I've been talking about it, wanting to do it for literally like 4 or 5 years. So it's finally time for me to show up for my promises. Also, I believe in divine timing, so I know this is the time for me to teach it. This is the time for people to receive it. And everything worked out how it was supposed to. But it's one of those things where I've been like, I want to do this, I want to do this, and it just wasn't time. And it felt really hard. It felt really hard to actually put this class together. But now that I have like all the ideas and everything's flowing, it's going to be so fun. Not only for me to teach, and that's the most important part. Sorry to the students, but it is the most important part for me to enjoy doing it, because when I enjoy doing it, you're going to enjoy taking the class even more. You're going to connect with joy even more because you can feel and connect in with that joy energy that I feel when I'm expressing myself. And that's what I really want to help people to do with this concept of the Akashic Records. Is not to do it necessarily the way that I do it, but it's to teach you the way that you do it, the way that you are unique. And you are going to be your own healer in this class, so you're going to learn from yourself. I'm going to be the teacher, I'm going to be holding the space, but you're going to be learning from yourself and your spirit and your soul, and it's going to be amazing. So let's talk about it. This class is called Akashic Deep Dive. What are the Akashic Records? In this class, you're going to learn all about it, so we'll go way deep into everything. But the basic concept is that there is a space within the astral, within our consciousness, within the cosmos, however you view it. But this is a space that anyone can connect to when they want to connect to their soul, their spirit, who they are beyond just like, I'm Grace, I'm a human. There's also all these other aspects of ourselves, of who we have been, who we are. And it gets real complicated. That's why we need to do a class about it, because it's kind of like time exists all at once. So it gets confusing. So this class is really like about structuring some of that more esoteric information. This is going to be a mystery school. So my intention with beginning with this class is to get people excited, get people connected with their authentic self, the way that they receive information intuitively. And then my plan is I'm going to be launching more classes in the next few years that are all kind of like connected to this idea that we can become our own healer. So the Akashic Deep Dive is really going to be getting you into connection with yourself. And we do that through the Akashic Records. So the idea is that this is a space that we can all go to within our meditative mind where we can connect with all that is. So that could mean a past life. That could mean connecting with a spirit guide. That could mean connecting with your inner child. That could mean connecting with a loved one in spirit, someone that passed away, connecting with a specific place or time. There's lots of different things that you can do there. You can ask questions, you can gain information, and this is a way that we can do like intuitive readings, psychic readings. So my intention with this class is for people who want to learn more about themselves. You don't necessarily have to do this class if you're wanting to be a psychic or do readings. We will talk about that for sure. We will talk about that in the class. But this is for anyone who has always been curious about themselves, wanting to learn more about who they are and why they are here, and like our purpose and all those like kind of big soul questions. I think we can gain so much insight from looking at things through a different perspective. So when we go into a space, an astral space, a meditation space, a sacred space that we call the Akashic Records, it basically means ether. It means space. So it's like somewhere we can go where we have access to all that information at once. And that can be really confusing. For sure. So that's why we practice. That's why we do the class. So this is going to be an online class on Zoom. Over the next week, I'm going to be talking more in detail about what are the Akashic Records, so you can understand why you would even want to take this class. But tonight, I just want to briefly share about the class so people know that pre-sale is open. I'm going to be sharing all this week. And then on my website, all the details about the curriculum will be up. But I just want to get people excited. I want people to know that it's happening. So Akashic Deep Dive, we're going to be journeying together. So what does that mean? We're going to be going into this meditative journey together. So a journey meditation is basically taking our consciousness into another state. So sometimes we can do that and connect with different realms. People call that the lower world or the upper world usually in shamanic practices. But the Akashic Records is another place that we can journey to. So we can send our energy, our mind up there to gain information and insight. So some people have taken my classes called Journey to the Akashic Records, or perhaps you have done the Celestial Journey with me, which is these meditation classes I've been teaching the last few years. So you can maybe understand what that means. But basically we start with a point of consciousness where we can shift from where we are now into another place. Some might call that a portal. Some people might call that a portal. But we do this through, you walk through a doorway. You go through a tree. You enter through space. There's so many different ways that we can do this. But if you've ever done my meditations on live or on my YouTube or whatever, that is a journey, basically. So you're going to be learning how to journey into the Akashic Records. For the beginning of this course, we're going to be journeying together. So I'm going to lead live journey meditations into the Akashic Records. We're going to connect with different aspects of ourselves. So one of them is going to be about connecting to your spirit guides, getting to know your spirit guides. Everyone has them. Anyone can connect with them. You are already connected to them. So how can we bring like conscious awareness to that, where we can actually like understand what's happening and like perceive things and like be able to actually gain information from the intuitive things that happen during these practices. One of them is going to be about connecting to our inner child. So it's all about healing for yourself is this beginning of the course. It's going to be all about healing different layers of yourself, and we do that through the realm of the Akashic Records. So it's very interesting. These classes are going to be basically, a chunk of it's going to be the meditation where we do a healing practice together live. And then a part of it's going to be more lecture and more informational. There will be some videos that you receive as well for stuff that you can do at your own time, some homework assignments. And then at the end of the class, we're going to be doing more interactive practices where you can learn about reading the Akashic Records. First, we're going to use them for healing so that we can actually clear stuff out of the way so we can understand what's happening. And then we're going to use them to gain information. So we're going to work on ourselves. And then at the end of the class, we'll talk about working with other people. So that you're not going to necessarily have to do a reading to like pass a test or anything like that, but we are going to practice together so that you can get practice. You can see what's happening for you yourself, and then it's all about learning how to interpret the information that you're receiving, and that's why we are together as a group, so we can give each other feedback. And I'm very excited. So this class is going to be on Zoom. It's going to start in March. Again, all the details are going to come out February 8th. So if you're interested, just send me a DM and I'll put you on my wait list. And then once everything like opens up for you to sign up, I will let everybody know. And then all the details are going to be coming out this week. So I'm really excited. But it's going to be a 12-week class. So that's kind of long. I know it's kind of long, but there's a lot of information that we're going to be going through. And it's really about like this healing journey for yourself, like learning to use a spiritual tool for your everyday like questions, for your everyday needs, like learning to get to know yourself. Because the concept with the Akashic Records can be so like esoteric and like out there, and like, you know, you could look at like past lives and stuff, and we're definitely going to talk about that, but I really like to show people that these tools can be like accessible to them. So that's really what the class is going to be about. But I've been kind of just like led to do this. I've been doing these Akashic Records readings for a couple of years now, maybe since 2018, 2019. So in 2017 or something, I found this book. Let me show you. I think I heard about them from a podcast, like, because that's where I fucking hear everything. That's why I even have my podcast, because I'm like, I need to like share this information with more people. But I was like, what does this even mean? You know, because it's like so broad a definition of like, you can access anything that ever existed. And you're like, what? So I heard about this and I was like, let me learn more about it. And I ended up getting this book, which is called How to Read the Akashic Records. This is like one of the more famous books by this woman, Linda Howe. She teaches classes. I never took her class, but I read her book. And I just like started to get curious about it. And, you know, I had some interesting personal experiences in terms of things that were connected to past lives. And I've had some, you know, miraculous healing experiences with learning about stuff like that. And at first it was really hard for me to even like get into it or like believe it or like accept that this is like possible. But I just got curious and I just started like learning about it for myself. And eventually that led me to wanting to get a teacher and like learn about this. So I worked with this woman in 2020 after maybe like 2 years of just like exploring on my own. I took this course with her. I think it was like 3 months, and it was a one-on-one course. Josephine Hardman is her name, and it was on Zoom. I highly recommend her. She was great. I loved her. And I loved the class, and I learned so much about it, that I didn't learn in the book just from having that like, personal experience, like working with someone and getting feedback. And so eventually that led me to thinking about, I want to teach a class about this, because the readings were becoming like super interesting to me. A lot of stuff that feels so out there and like confusing to me when I'm saying out loud, like the people that get the readings were like understanding what I'm talking about. So I felt like a lot of healing experiences happened through that. I got to work with a couple of clients one-on-one where we did the original Akashic Deep Dive, which was like a one-on-one kind of coaching thing where we went to the Akashic Records every week for a couple of months. And that led me to thinking, okay, I want to teach a class about this. This was like 2020. So I've been thinking about this for like 4 years. And every time I've tried to like actually structure it and put it together, it was overwhelming. It didn't happen. It wasn't the time. So I think for me, it was really about like honing in on how this works for me so that I could even begin to put it into words of like how I can explain to people how I do this. But again, this class, the way I have designed it and the way that it's going to be is like more about you, the student, like learning how this works for you. But I will be giving you techniques. I will be giving you exercises. So I'm really excited. If you want to learn about the Akashic Records, this is a great book. There's another one I like. All my books are over here, so that's why I'm looking. That's called The Radical Approach to the Akashic Records. That one was good too. There's definitely a lot of podcasts out there. I have a couple podcast episodes on my podcast, Angel Face Magic Hour, talking about the Akashic Records from a couple years ago. I will be doing a few ones this month just to promote the class, of course, but also to share insight information updated and things that I can be a little bit more concise about. But this class, there's going to be 10 spots, so it's going to be a pretty small class. I want it to be small enough where people can participate, people can get feedback, people can interact, and it's not overwhelming. And this is something that I would love people to come live, because the end of the class is going to be more interactive. The first 6 weeks are going to be more about healing yourself, and the second 6 weeks are going to be about learning to read the records, and then we're going to be talking about reading the records for other people, or like designing some kind of healing experience around them. I practice Reiki. That's like what got me into all the energy healing and all this psychic stuff and all the stuff that I do now that's more spiritual. But so I incorporate energy healing into this course. You're going to be receiving some healing, and then we're going to be talking about like connecting with your own unique way to do healing for yourself. And the Akashic Records are a space where you can do like these meditations, so you could take clients into it in more of a healing experience and less of a reading. So we'll talk about kind of the difference between that and some protocols of how you can do that. But again, it's going to be about you healing and developing your own unique style, and that's what I'm the most excited about. But it's something that I would love people to be able to come live for, so keep in mind that I will be releasing all the information on my website so people can sign up February 8th, which is a Thursday. So the classes are going to be on Zoom. I have to set up the calendar, but we're going to be starting beginning of March, and then it's going to go through May. So it's going to be very exciting. Hey, I'm talking about my class that I'm launching today that I've been working on. And yeah, all new information. So I know some people have signed up for my classes in the past for Spirit School, which is my psychic development class. That's kind of like psychic development 101, and this is like a little bit more advanced. It doesn't necessarily have to be like you need like tons of experience to take this class, but we're going to be talking about a little bit more like advanced topics and like healing your inner child. And Spirit School is more about like developing those intuitive senses. So I know some people have signed up for that class in the past. So anyone who is Spirit School alumni has taken that class, there will be a discount on this class. And then also anyone who studied Reiki with me. Oh, they're telling me I have to get off in 5 minutes. Um, uh, if you've taken Reiki with me, there's also going to be a discount. So I just offer that to people that have worked with me before and have supported me before. And I want to encourage those people to sign up because this is going to be, building upon stuff that you might have learned in those classes. And then, yeah, if anyone's done the journey meditations, any of my live meditations, there's going to be a lot of that deeper trance work, journey work, going internal. And it's really going to be about like looking inside. And I'm going to be there to support you. So I am going to be sharing again this week just more in detail about like what even is the Akashic Records. But I just wanted to come and share a little bit about the class. So if this sounds exciting to you or to anyone who watches this later, you can DM me. If you want to email me, that's also nice. And then, yeah, I'm going to be sharing everything on my website for official signups February 8th, which is like a week and some change from now. But I'm really excited. I think I'm gonna do a podcast episode this week just about like my journey with the Akashic Records, like how they have helped me heal, and I'll go more in detail with that and like my experience and like what led me to even doing this class. And I just like shared a little snippet on this live about that, but like I like to go more in detail on the podcast because I'll go forever, and I like to be more brief on here sometimes because I know everyone doesn't have the longest attention span on social media. But yeah, if you love to learn more, you can check that out. I'll share all the details and everything in a post. And then for now, if people are interested, you can DM me. The class is going to be $333. I love the angel numbers. So it's going to be a 12-week class. So I don't know what the math is, but you can think about that. There's also payment plans if people need that. And then there will be a discount if people have signed up for spirit school or Reiki classes in the past. I have a lot of classes coming out this year. This is like last year I really took a cocoon moment to do some really deep healing and like was more working one-on-one with people and doing the Reiki trainings one-on-one. But we're going to be relaunching Spirit School, which is the psychic development class. If everything works out the way that I have it planned so far, that's going to be an in-person class where I live in Sonoma County, California. So that will be like really, really cool and different and exciting. And then, yeah, I have some Reiki classes planned, and my mother, who also lives near me, might be letting me do a Reiki class at her house where they have nice, beautiful yard. So I am planning some cool stuff for in person if people live near me. But this Akashic Deep Dive is going to be a Zoom class, so you can be anywhere. I'm in California again, so you can think about time zones. If you want to be able to come live, that would be great. All the classes are going to be recorded, so I know not everyone is able to show up live. Your life is different. Things come up. Work is different. So there will be some different times each week just to try to accommodate different people's schedules. But ideally, people can show up live, and I'll be announcing all the literal things. I know I've said it a million times, but I have to reiterate, make sure I say everything. But yeah, the idea is that when we go into the Akashic Records, we can bring healing into our body, into our spirit, into our emotions, into our mind. Like we can connect with all these different layers of ourself, and we're really accessing information about our soul. So the reason we even want to do that is maybe just to get a deeper understanding, usually, about why we are I'm glitching. I knew I was gonna glitch because of the timer, but I'll just finish up and hopefully this last part people can still hear me. But usually when we get frustrated at ourselves, we don't understand ourselves, there's some aspect of ourselves we're scared to look at. I find that it usually is almost like a blockage of fear of what we might see when we look deeper at ourselves. So I encourage people to sign up for a class like this because you're held in that support of all the different parts of you are equally as important. And when we can bring healing to a past version of ourselves, whether that's inner child or 1500 years ago, or bring healing to our ancestors, or all these different beautiful little practices that we can do spiritually, when we can do that, it really allows us to move forward in our life because there's not all these things that are kind of like holding us back from really seeing who we are, because there's almost like layers of stories about ourselves that aren't true. And we can even hold those in our bodies. So again, I've had these like some beautiful physically healing experiences with the records, and I'll share more in detail on my podcast this week I'll tell that story because it's a long one. I don't want to like take 3 million years to tell the story right now, but a lot is possible when we push back the story that we can't access something if it's not in our hands. Like anything is kind of possible when we connect with the Akashic Records, which I think is a hard concept to even begin to understand until you experience it. So I just encourage people to try something new and suspend disbelief and see how you can be your own healer and you really can take like this into your own hands. It doesn't necessarily have to be something outside of you that's telling you about yourself. Like you can gain all this insight and knowledge and healing like from yourself. And it also can be, again, like hard to interpret that information. And sometimes when things come in and we're just starting to begin this practice, it can be like, I don't even, again, believe what is coming in. So it's like about kind of getting some of that like muck out of your mind so that you can actually listen to yourself. So that's why I'm going to incorporate like energy healing into this class too, so we can support people as they move through this kind of like spiritual process of getting to know your soul, who you are as a soul, as a spirit. And, you know, for example, like things that I've seen in the Akashic Records, like when I've done readings for people that were like shocking or like weird to me, is like I saw someone who was like a tree one time and I was like, oh, that's so interesting. Like in a different lifetime, they were a tree. And that one stood out to me. And I think about that all the time. I'm like, that's so interesting to think about how we were connected to that in another time. And another one that stands out to me that I think about, because the visual and the vision was so beautiful, was like someone was like this shell at the bottom of the ocean. And it's like we know this concept through science, like energy cannot be created or destroyed. Like we are forever. We are stardust, our bones and everything will compost into the earth and we will become something else. Whether or not we're aware of it or not, who knows? But right now, we can go into that awareness from a different time that we might not actually be able to remember through this concept of the Akashic Records. So again, it gets real complicated. So that's why this is going to be a 12-week class where we go from the beginning of like what even is the Akashic Records? Why do we even want to do it? How can I begin my own healing? How can I understand how to interpret this information? And then can I do that and help others with it? Can I help others people do this? Can I do a a reading? Can I do a healing session? Can I use this information to assist others? And sometimes I see for people it can be easier to interpret the information for someone else than for yourself. So I think it is really important to practice for others so that you can almost break free of those barriers of like, I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand what's coming through. Because sometimes when it's for ourselves, it's like, why would I be a tree? Why would I be a shell? Like, that seems silly. But when you do it for someone else and you get this information that just comes from nowhere, and all of a sudden you have it and understand it, and it's easier to just share that because you don't really know what you're receiving because it's for someone else. When it's for yourself, you have all these assumptions and stories that you already know about yourself. So sometimes it's very helpful to practice on others, especially people you've never met, because you can build up that trust for yourself. Spirit school, like my psychic development class, like a huge theme of what we even talk about is like building up the trust muscle and being able to really believe anything that's coming forward, because it's so easy to be like, that is not real. And the Akashic Records even gets even more like that, because again, the information is sometimes kind of strange and different, because it isn't just like what happened to yesterday. It could be like what happened thousands of years ago. And why is that even important? It's because we can hold that in our body. And then it's also not only about healing, it's about like remembering these aspects of ourselves that we can embody in the now. Like, if one version of ourselves is like this powerful, strong energy, and we feel like we need assistance in like feeling like that right now, like I want to feel strong, I want to feel powerful now, but I don't, like we can tap into that memory and like bring some of that like story back into ourselves, or connect with our guides, or these energies that are more outside of ourselves, to receive like comfort and protection and peace and like all these nice things. But they can also help us understand ourselves more. And that's like, again, what the whole class is all about, is helping yourself be your own healer and getting to know yourself and understand yourself. So when people go into this place, the Akashic Records, like if you're getting a reading or you're doing it for yourself, like you might feel some sensations in your body. You might feel a physical shift. You might see things in your mind's eye. There's so many different experiences that people will have and can have, and it builds upon itself. Like maybe the first time you do it, like you feel like nothing's happening. And then the more you do it, the more you can practice and, again, strengthen the trust muscle, the more that you can allow those things to come through. And for me personally, when I first started doing this, I would get so like high basically from the energy that I would just pass out. I would get, not like literally like fainting, but like I would fall asleep like really easily after it, like all the time. And I feel like it was hard to retain the information. So it wasn't like automatic for me to do readings like instantaneously the first time I ever did it. But the more that I could stay in that frequency, stay in that energy, the more that I could, have stamina to almost like stay in it so that I can perceive it long enough to share. I think of it kind of like exercise too. Like you can't just like all of a sudden run like a 10K and like you feel fine. Like you really have to build that stuff up. So everything takes practice. And I always give the example of like guitar. Like sometimes people pick up a guitar and they're like amazing the first time they've ever touched it. But that's usually not the case. Most people have to practice for years and years and years. They first have to learn how to read music. So that's what you're doing in the class, is like you're learning to read the music. You're learning to speak the lexicon. The language of spirit is different for everyone. So it might be like, again, visual, your thoughts, memories, like so many different ways that this information can come through. So it's about the practice and the healing to see how that you can do that for yourself. You can do that too. So I'm really excited. I am really excited. So I think that's about it. I will share all the literal details again in like a week. I will be sharing a few like posts on my feed written, so I have like the actual details written out so people can read it, think about it, see if they want to sign up. And if you have questions, DM me. If you're interested and want to be on the wait list, so what that means is just like I tell you guys first when I officially put the class on the website, so you have like a chance to sign up first. And then if people are alumni, again, discount. If you're interested, I have that available for you. And I think that's it for now. So, send me a message. Let me know if you want to sign up for this class. Let me know if you want to change your life together. When I teach classes, I heal. I go through the journey myself. So honestly, I know that this will be powerful for me to hold this space and do this for myself. But I'm really excited to see who signs up. I'm really excited to like build this like healing space together for 3 months. For 3 months, that's a long time. And it's going to be starting in March through May. And my intention with that is like we're aligning with the spring, like the awakening of the earth. And like we're like building new energy together. And we're like birthing out of the winter. And we're coming into ourselves and growing together. So that's kind of why I wanted to do it right now. And Valentine's Day is coming up, so you can love yourself. Sign up. I'm just joking, but I'm really excited. So yeah, I'm going to save this video. If you have a question, send me a DM. If you want to sign up, send me a DM. And more information coming soon. I'm going to record a podcast episode either Wednesday or Thursday talking about my Akashic Records experience and what led me to wanting to do this class. So I'll post on Instagram when I do that and when it's live and all this stuff. So, cheers. I'm excited. My cup matches my glasses. I just realized I love that so much. Clearly, I love pink. So, thank you. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Bye-bye. I'll see you later.